From the chaotic void, the universe gradually formed with the birth of the first gods. Gaia, Mother Earth, combined with Uranus, the sky, to create the powerful Titans, laying the foundation for divine order. Cronus rose up to overthrow his father, but fate had decreed that Zeus, his son, would overthrow him. After the fierce battle of Titanomachy, Zeus and his brothers divided the universe, ushering in the era of the Olympian gods. Opening scene. The music begins with a grand classical orchestral piece. The camera zooms in on Mount Olympus, slowly revealing the gods seated in their thrones, with a golden glow illuminating them. The camera pans across each god, giving a glimpse of their divine attributes. Narrator, voiceover. At the heart of Greek mythology lies a vast pantheon of gods, each with distinct personalities, powers, and domains. From the mighty Olympian gods to the local spirits of nature, each deity shaped the world and the lives of mortals. Scene 1. The Olympian Gods. The camera focuses on the 12 Olympian gods seated in their majestic thrones, with Zeus at the center holding his thunderbolt. Other gods like Hera, Poseidon, Athena, and Apollo are shown in their traditional iconography. Narrator, voiceover. At the pinnacle of the Greek pantheon are the 12 Olympian gods, who reside on the great Mount Olympus, ruling over the heavens, the earth, and the seas. Led by Zeus, the king of the gods, each deity held dominion over a particular aspect of the cosmos. Scene 2. Zeus and his power. The screen shifts to a dramatic scene of Zeus in the sky, wielding his mighty thunderbolt. The camera zooms in on him as he sits on his throne with a commanding presence. Narrator, voiceover. Zeus, the ruler of the sky, thunder, and justice, stands as the most powerful of the gods. Yet even his might could not protect him from the consequences of his actions, especially in his love affairs with mortals and gods alike. Scene 3. Zeus and Leda. A flashback scene appears with Zeus disguised as a swan, seducing Leda, the queen of Sparta. The screen shows an ethereal, magical atmosphere as the gods interact with mortals. Narrator, voiceover. One of Zeus's many stories involves his transformation into a swan to seduce Leda, queen of Sparta. This union would lead to the birth of two legendary figures, Helen of Troy and Castor and Pollux, further intertwining the divine with the mortal world. Scene 4. The anthropomorphism of the gods. The scene transitions to a more philosophical tone, showing the gods depicted in human-like forms, their faces full of emotion. The gods are portrayed as having human desires, flaws, and aspirations, reflecting the Greek idea of anthropomorphism. Narrator, voiceover. The Greek gods were not mere abstract concepts or forces of nature. They were human-like beings, embodying both divine perfection and human flaws. Through anthropomorphism, the Greeks made their gods relatable, allowing them to experience love, jealousy, anger, and even fear, just like mortals. Scene 5. The other gods and spirits. The camera shifts to show various other gods and spirits, like Pan, the satyr god of nature, the nymphs dancing in the forest, and the naiads in the rivers. These lesser-known gods are shown interacting with nature and mortals. Narrator, voiceover. Beyond the Olympian gods, the Greeks also revered many lesser deities, spirits of nature and the wilderness. Pan, the god of the wild, the nymphs, guardians of rivers and forests, and the naiads, spirits of fresh water, each played a vital role in the natural world and in the daily lives of the Greeks. Scene 6. The gods and mortals, a complex relationship. The camera now shows various myths where gods and mortals interact. Scenes depict gods falling in love with mortals, such as Aphrodite with Anchises, and the consequences of these relationships, including the birth of heroes and tragedies. Narrator, voiceover. The relationship between gods and mortals was often marked by both love and punishment. Many myths tell of gods falling in love with mortals, leading to the birth of great heroes. But these relationships were rarely without consequences, often resulting in divine retribution or punishment. Scene 7. Punishments and Gifts. A dark, intense scene unfolds, showing the punishments meted out by the gods, such as Prometheus being chained to a rock, having his liver eaten by an eagle. The camera zooms in on the suffering gods bring to mortals, and the sometimes painful lessons taught. Narrator, voiceover. While the gods could offer gifts, such as wisdom and fire, they also brought punishment. Prometheus, who stole fire for mankind, was punished eternally by Zeus. These stories serve as reminders of the gods' power over mortal lives and the consequences of defying them. Scene 8. The Divine Punishment of Lycurgus. The camera shows a tragic scene where the king of Thrace, Lycurgus, is punished by Dionysus for his refusal to honor the god. Dionysus's followers, the Maenads, are shown in wild ecstasy as Lycurgus suffers. Narrator, voiceover. Dionysus, the god of wine and ecstasy, exacted a cruel punishment on King Lycurgus for denying him his due respect. This myth, like many others, reflects the deep fear the Greeks had of divine retribution and the importance of honoring the gods. Scene 9. Demeter and Persephone. A gentle, heartfelt scene shows Demeter searching for her daughter Persephone, who is abducted by Hades. The camera focuses on Demeter's grief and the subsequent seasons that follow the loss of her daughter. Narrator, voiceover. One of the most poignant myths is that of Demeter and her daughter Persephone. When Persephone is taken by Hades to the underworld, Demeter's grief causes the seasons to change, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Scene 10. The Age of Heroes and the Heroic Deeds. The camera zooms in on scenes of legendary heroes like Heracles, Jason, and Theseus. Each is shown performing heroic deeds, such as the 12 labors of Heracles and the quest for the Golden Fleece. Narrator, voiceover. Beyond the gods, Greek mythology is rich with the stories of heroes, mortals who performed impossible tasks and defied the odds. Heracles, Jason, and Theseus became symbols of human strength and perseverance, reflecting the Greek ideal of heroism. Closing scene. The enduring legacy of the gods. The camera pulls back, showing a sunset over ancient Greece. The gods stand tall on Mount Olympus, their legacy continuing to shape the world below. Narrator, voiceover. The gods of Greek mythology continue to influence our world today. Their stories of love, sacrifice, and power resonate across time, leaving an eternal mark on culture, art, and the human spirit. The screen fades to black, and the words "Thank you for watching" appear in golden letters.